Hey guys, all content discussed in this channel is due diligence gathered with aim at better understanding the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's dive right in. This past week we saw stocks in general being to pull back as news of inflation weighed heavy on investors. We saw that the consumer price index came at 8.5% annual rate in March, driven up by the unexpected invasion of Ukraine. The Dow fell 0.8%. The S&P 500 fell 2% and Nasdaq dipped 2.6%. We also know now that the Fed is going to be very hawkish in order to adequately combat inflation, and are expected to raise the federal funds rate by 50 basis points, something we have talked about at great length a while back. As for what to expect this week, I am actually going to be bullish. I think stocks in general are due to start bouncing back. Investors are bullish and want to start buying on weakness, and I think it's going to prop up the major benchmarks. Bank of America and Charles Schwab report their earnings on Monday, April 18th. Netflix, Johnson & Johnson and IBM have their earnings on Tuesday. On Wednesday we have earnings from Tesla, Procter & Gamble and Nasdaq, and we will get Canada's Consumer Price Index as well. On Thursday we will get Eurozone's CPI and Japan's CPI, while also having AT&T's report earnings. Lastly, on Friday we will have American Express and Verizon's report earnings, along with both Canadian and UK retail sales. We will be getting a lot of updates on the state of the US housing market with the release of March housing stats and existing home sales by the US Census Bureau, and NAR consensus is that March will see a slight decrease in housing starts while existing home sales are projected further decline. China will also be releasing their GDP growth figures, with consensus estimates call for a 0.6% increase from last quarter. As far as GameStop and AMC, there are no news or catalysts that we are anticipating to happen at this moment, though they might release news throughout the week. All in all, it is a pretty boring week with nothing that big expected to happen. I think stocks will begin testing resistance and trying to bounce back up. I have made it an important part of this channel to talk about housing. Countless hours have been devoted to me talking about how the housing market is being monopolized and even weaponized by Wall Street. A set of news came out a couple of days ago that I think everyone should know about. In the city of Detroit, the government say it fit to commit one of the most criminal acts ever made in its history, if not the most criminal itself. Under admission of guilt, the city of Detroit overtaxed homeowners by at least $600 million between 2010 and 2016. This illegal tax assessment resulted in an estimated 100,000 people losing their homes to foreclosure. The Michigan Constitution prohibits property from being assessed at more than 50% of its market value, but the city of Detroit assessed properties as much as 85% of their current market value. The city council is not proposing a tentative $6 million on resources to residents who were overassessed, which represents only 1% of the amount that was overbilled. Even if the city wanted to give back the $600 million they stole, by doing so, they would essentially bankrupt themselves, which would then have the effect of having to raise taxes even further. Will anyone go to jail for stealing over $600 million? Will anyone be held accountable for the 100,000 lives that were severely affected? According to all I have read along with the statements from politicians, the answer is a clear no. I am sure many families will seek lawyers, who will have an absolute field day in the courts, but this doesn't take away from the years of hardship these people had to endure because the city of Detroit saw it fit to scam people. I wonder how many of the housing that they stole now belongs to corporations. I wonder how much of that middle to low income family housing is now going to be solely rented. This goes to show how little the government cares about you and me. I wanted to share this with you because it was quite a shocking and devastating set of news that came out, but no one really reported on it. CNN nor Fox nor MSNBC nor CBS or the rest of the corporate media even talked about this. I came to find this out by some small Detroit newspaper that I stumbled upon. Nobody is talking about the big things happening in life when this should be front cover in every newspaper in America. It shouldn't be surprising though, considering the media is owned by the very beneficiaries who are set to make giant profits from this tragedy. Back to AMC and GameStop. AMC seemed to have been consolidating this past week. I think its biggest resistance points are at 18.45, 19.80 and 20.50. Its biggest support zones are 17.50, 15.50 and 14.50. GameStop's biggest supporting zones are 150, 141 and 133. Its biggest resistance zones are 155, 160 and 170. The major benchmarks, in particular the S&P 500, are what is moving the market in general, and GameStop and AMC have been following closely as of late. So given that I think the benchmarks will begin rising, I think it is likely GameStop and AMC could follow. However, be open to everything since these stocks always have surprises around every corner. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you are still here, be sure to come on over and join the Discord for an even more engaging experience with fellow investors. We have tons of things there, from conversations about GameStop and AMC to day trading alerts, so give it a try. Links will be down in the video description. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Enjoy the rest of your day, keep on buying the dip and to the moon.